last lesson, we learned about standard form for a parabola. That was y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And from that form, you could find the vertex using the equation negative b over 2a. That'll give you the x-coordinate. And you plug that back in to find the y-coordinate of the vertex. The way we represent that is f of negative b over 2a. You just plug back in that x-coordinate to find the y-coordinate. Today, however, we're going to look at vertex form, which is really nice because it already tells you where the vertex is. So if you'll see something in vertex form, you're really going to like it. It's y equals a times x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. And I'll give you an example. Let's say we have y equals 1/2 x minus 3 plus 2. Now, vertex form is very similar to what we learned about in Chapter 2 with absolute value equations. The a coordinate tells us if the graph is stretched vertically or if it's shrunk vertically, like if it's steeper or wider. Of course, with the 1/2, it's going to be half as steep, so there's a vertical shrink, or we'll just say wider. Vertical shrink. Once again, the subtraction inside tells us it's going to move the graph or the vertex in an opposite direction. So this is going to move it 3 units to the right. And the plus 2 is going to move it up or down. And of course, that's not opposite, so it's going to move it 2 units up. And the vertex is really easy to find because the vertex is just h, comma, k. So for this one, you can just look and you'd see that h is 3 and the k is 2. The vertex for the graph is 3, comma 2. You don't need to do anything with this negative b over 2a when it's in vertex form. Let's look at graphing something in vertex form. Maybe we'll use the equation y equals 3 times x plus 1 minus 1. So we would expect this to be 3 times steeper, moved 1 space to the left, and then 1 space down. And we can tell what the vertex is right away. It's just the opposite of what's in here because it's moved 1 space to the left. And then it's going to be 1 space down. So the vertex is minus 1, minus 1. Let's go ahead and plot that. So minus 1, minus 1. And then to figure out, sorry, there should be a square here. There needs to be a square there. So in order to figure out the graph, we're just going to use an XY table for now. And you would just plug in some values for x and see what you got for y. We're just going to pick values next to it. So we'll choose 0 for x. 0 plus 1 squared, that's 1 squared. 3 times 1 minus 1, that's 2. So 0, comma 2. And then go left, choose negative 3, or negative 2. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 squared. That's 1. 3 times 1 minus 1 is going to be 2. And that's exactly what we'd expect, because it goes up 1, 2, 3 spaces and then over 1. That first point is 3 times steeper than a normal one. It's 3 times steeper. After that, it gets even steeper and steeper. So you have to keep choosing points to plug in if you want to graph it really well. That first point is always going to be this value out front.